welcome to another episode of the No Name Podcast. I am your host for this week, Ricky, along with the I don't know what to give him a nickname for this week in honesty. But anyways, Manny is with us here again.
It's hard to do that.
Stuff. It's all good. It's all good. Well, in a couple weeks, I'll come up with something. But um, Manny, how's it been?
It's been good. It's been good. Uh, yeah, it's been good.
Uh, uh,
Excuse me.
Sweet Jesus.
It's been good. There you go. There's your proof.
I mean, Manny had an amazing weekend, as he told me yesterday. And I
Yeah,
day before,
some would say
but
immaculate.
he said that those were his words exactly, um, and everything. But we'll get to that in a bit and everything like that all later on in the episode and everything. But this is the No Name Podcast. This is a podcast that comes to you every Wednesday. 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here on YouTube, Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and many other podcast services that are there. Stuff. I hope you're enjoying these episodes and every time like that. For all that stuff. But let's get into everything else. That will be talked about later on, anyways. Let's get into the episode and let's keep everything going and all stuff. And that is Manny's magnificent weekend, immaculate weekend, and everything like that. As we get into sports talk, because Manny had, again, as we said, Manny had the greatest weekend of all time in his probably life. No, I don't really, and all that stuff. In all honesty, but
For sports wise, no.
Sports wise, no. I'm just it's the best thing I could think of right in the top
Life
of my
in
head.
general, definitely not.
Definitely not. Definitely not. Also, but you know what I mean. Not of all time, but
Yeah.
one of the greatest moments.
Yeah.
One of the greatest.
It was a pretty good. It was a pretty damn good weekend.
One of the good weekends he's had and all that stuff. And Manny, I'll let you get into that since this was your weekend. You had a great weekend sports wise.
All right, so we'll starting off on Saturday, as all weekends do. Um,
I mean,
you know, Stockton Kings played the San Diego Gulls. Got a win. That was awesome.
For those who don't know, who are the
They're the Calgary Flames AHL team. Um, they're they're relatively close to us. And I'm a supporter of said club. Um, and they beat the San Diego Gulls, which is the Anaheim Ducks AHL team, 3-2. It was a pretty damn good game. Then later on that night, the Pittsburgh Penguins went on to beat the Vancouver Canucks, as Ricky says.
It was one time, okay.
So that was an awesome day. Then flash forward to the Sunday, right, the Sabbath day. Um, and you know, my Pittsburgh Steelers went on to beat the worst team in franchise history, Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore Ravens. And the Ravens had a chance to win, but Ravens did what the Ravens do, so they choked, and they missed that 2-point conversion, and we ended up winning. So
okay, relax. You may have won the game, but you're only like what, a game behind in the division.
Exactly.
Was that your first game against them?
Yeah. We're gonna sweep them again, though, like we swept them last year.
It's gonna be one of those things where you play them twice towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
And it's the
but last year we swept them, so I mean.
And it's the last game.
Exactly. It's gonna be interesting.
Let's see here. 6-5-1.
That is correct. That's another thing. Our one isn't talked about because another team did a lot worse than us.
What are you talking about?
The Vikings game.
Oh no! Yesterday was full of crazy enders and all that stuff.
Speaking of which, how happy is your dad right now?
I haven't talked to him, so it's not even because of that. I think he's more happy since we didn't do it last week's episode, um, and all that stuff. I think he's probably more happy about something else than that, and
Oh,
I'll talk about that in a bit because that's something I'll talk about.
you're having a child.
No, not that fool. It's sports related, dummy.
Oh.
I'm single.
You don't have to be dating anybody to have a child.
My, my point still single, single. Uh,
Ladies.
so your next games are against the Vikings, the Titans, the Chiefs, the Browns, and the last games. So I just saw
Only
Baltimore.
game I'm sweating is the Chiefs.
Huh?
Only game I'm sweating is the Chiefs.
No, you have to sweat every single game and all that
Yeah, that's
stuff.
true.
And all that stuff. The Vikings, which is one of the best. Yes, they're 5-7 currently right now, but they're one of the better 5-7 teams in the game in the league and all that stuff. Like they should have won Sunday. In all honesty,
Nah,
no,
just
nothing
let
against the
Detroit
Lions.
have their win.
Nothing against the
Let
Lions.
Detroit have their win.
Nothing against the Lions. Don't get me wrong. Nothing against the Lions and everything. But that game should have been won by the Vikings. All that stuff.
Do you hate the Lions, Ricky?
I
Do
don't hate the
you?
Lions. I don't hate the
Are
Lions.
you beefing with the city of Detroit?
Stop. 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 Because
Do
I
you
am.
not like Eminem? No. No.
Stop.
He's from
Okay.
Detroit, right?
Yes. He's from Michigan. The Michigan area.
Alright.
You play against Titans. Still one of the. Still, I think, still one of the better teams in the AFC. All that stuff. The Chiefs, who are playing way much better now than they did in the beginning of the season. The Browns, which is a Monday night game, and I mean the Browns are the Browns are the Browns are the Browns. They're not like a bad team. All that
Yeah,
stuff.
it's to the Browns, though.
All that stuff. Your little division is literally is within 2 games of each other to take that division. And
Still ain't
then
sweating
and
it.
your last game is against, of course, the Ravens, which is at Baltimore.
Yeah,
And all that stuff. You say you might sweep them again, but in all honesty, who knows?
we're sweeping the Ravens.
And all that stuff.
Yeah.
You
And Matt
yes,
Bird's out of the NFL.
you can say that. We actually have our first team eliminated from the playoffs, which is I find ironically weird because the Houston Texans, as of the end of Sunday, are eliminated from the playoffs, but the Jacksonville Jaguars are not, and and they have the same record.
Interesting.
That is,
Interesting. So what you're saying is there's favoritism in the NFL, is
I
what
w-
you're trying to say.
I wouldn't say it's favoritism because the
No,
Jaguars
I
are
know. I know.
arguably worse than the Texans and all that stuff. I mean, the only thing better for the Jags and the Texans is a home record. That's and that's by a game. Texans are 1-5 at home. The Jaguars are 2-5 at home,
Mm,
and everything like that. So yeah, that's arguably weird. And all that stuff. That's very very weird. Um, and all that stuff. I have nothing else to say. We are down. My Raiders had a chance to win a game against a streaking Washington team, and then somehow, like I kid you not, I didn't watch the game because we were playing. I think that's right when we were about to start playing. We were playing Fortnite, which we'll get talk about later. Um, all I know is that we were up. We were up, and I was like, cool. And the next thing I know, 5 minutes later, the game's over and they lost, and we lost. I was like, I can't deal with it. I can't deal with it. I mean, we still have a chance to win the division. We'll see how this goes.
she could be Niners, man. Look
Huh?
at them right now.
Huh?
I was like, could be worse. Look at the Niners.
I mean, they're 6-6 also.
I know, but look at their fans. How- I've been hearing a lot of really sad fans
I mean,
after that game.
we'll see what happens. Um, it's just uh, I got nothing else to say about it. It's like really, it's like we lost. We could have won that. That's a game we could have won, and all that stuff. But at the same time, it's just like, what can you do?
Yeah.
Like we're still in the hunt for playoffs. We just got to do better these last couple games. I mean, here's the thing. Yeah, the Niners have it worse, but they have a chance to make playoffs still. They have a better chance of making playoffs than we do.
True.
As as horrible. I didn't want to say that, but it's true
Why didn't you want to say that?
because it's like I think, in all honesty, the NFC is like an easier division, easier conference than it is in the AFC
Yeah.
and all that stuff. Like like how we are, like this is predictable. In all honesty, like literally all
Well, I
seven,
don't know.
all
It
seven,
looked like
all
the
seven
Raiders are
teams,
gonna be
all seven
pretty fun.
teams, all seven teams that are in the playoff hunt right now for to secure playoffs are over 500. The NFC has two teams that are at 500 and all that stuff, and everyone else that's on the bubble has a losing record. Somehow like
Wow.
it's the like I said, the I still don't get how the freaking Jaguar have a chance to still make playoffs. Dope.
Speaking of not knowing about playoffs, so how does that college thing work again? I was looking at the college playoffs recently.
Okay, so we might as well just jump into that. So, the college football playoff has officially been determined, and we have our top four teams. We have Alabama at one. Yes. As I keep going because it's here saying that just pisses me off a little bit. Um, Michigan at number two, Georgia at number three, and then Cincinnati at number four. Manny, ask your question now, so that way, because it might have to be a deal with me explaining this.
Okay, so this is gonna be a two-parter then.
Okay.
One, is this what your dad is happy for? If it is, I didn't even know he watched college football. And then two, uh, how do they decide who goes in the playoffs and where? I know it's something weird, if I remember correctly.
Okay. So let me pull that up, and then to answer your first question, yes, uh, this is the thing I was referring to as Michigan is the number two seed into the college football playoff. This is their first time actually making it to the playoffs and everything, and
Wow.
everything throughout the history of the college football playoff. It's a happy thing because since we didn't do it last week, episode last week, this is what I was going to talk about. The fact because Michigan won against Ohio State, which is their biggest rival in college football, and for the
No?
last 5 years at least, since with the current coach
I
they
know.
have, huh?
Oh, I said OH, and then you didn't do it, so I was like, oh, I know.
Uh, no, they've lost to Ohio State and everything. So it's like, so Michigan at the beginning of this season wasn't ranked. Was predicted to end up first in their conference and everything. And of course, most likely they was predicted to probably lose against Ohio State and all that stuff. They've had a wonderful season. Their only loss was a close one to Michigan State. Which, in all honesty, if they won that one, they'd be undefeated right now, and probably number one in my opinion. I still think they're number. Um, and but of course, when it comes to Ohio State, everyone's like, can they win this one? Can they win the big one and all that stuff? Because a lot was on the line coming into that game. Not only does it give them a berth into the Big Ten Conference Championship game, which was this past Saturday, um, but also a chance of sticking in, making it, having a chance to stay in the playoff for the college football playoff and everything. And they won against Ohio State in dominating fashion too, which was amazing. I watched the whole game myself and all stuff because that's how much I like and all that
The whole
stuff.
game.
and everything. Well, because one is my dad's my dad's a big Michigan fan. He's and all that stuff. Though he's never attended the school, he's a big Michigan fan and all that stuff because of the state and everything.
That was actually gonna be my next question.
Yeah, and all that stuff. I like to bring that up. I do like to reference that because like and all that stuff and everything like that. Because I think I coming back into college football, watching it again, it's made me realize something. It's like I'm not I enjoy college football though I don't have an actual team because I don't think it serves me right to be a fan of a school that I didn't attend. I don't know that passion from based off the schools and all that stuff and everything. Which is, but I still, I mean, I watch it because I enjoy it. I have the last couple of years because it's always been the same four teams. The last towards when it comes to playoffs. But anyways, it's neither here or there. So Michigan won. They got it. They won they won the Big Ten title this past Saturday, and won that in dominating fashion, and everything. And now they're the number 2 seed going into the playoff. So of course, my dad's probably most likely happy. He's gonna see his team, see Michigan into the playoff. Hopefully, have a chance. They do have a chance. They do looks like they have a chance to actually win the national title. Um, to get into your second question, how this playoff thing ranking works is the most craziest, weirdest, and it's so
I
hard.
heard they have like a committee that chooses.
Yeah, so it's an actual committee full of former like athletic directors and college football former coaches and stuff and everything. But they don't start it at the start of the season. They start it like end of October, November, early November to start it to do rankings and all to release your rankings. But they do look at when the first ranking comes in. It does go based off like how the season goes until that point. Then it moves on. Then it changes up, moving on based off how everything else goes and all that stuff.
Mm.
So, as you mentioned, how it goes is the selection committee ranks the teams based off the members' evaluation of teams' performance on the field using conference championships won, strength of schedule, head-to-head results, and comparison of results against common opponents to decide among teams that are comparable. That's pretty much how it works and all that stuff.
Oh, okay.
And then like I said, so the selection committee is 13 high individuals, experiences such as coaches, student athletes, college administrators, journalists. I know, right? Um,
Well, that's when you get the results you
so
get.
it says a talented group of 13 high integrity. That's a hyphen between the two. Too. I'm like, okay,
Okay, so they're
individual.
high with integrity.
Yeah, they're high with integrity. Individuals with experience as coaches, student athletes, college administrators, journalists. That's a bad part. That's a sorry. That's a worry part right there, in my opinion. Along with sitting athletic directors comprised of the selection committee, and they give out names that I don't want to give. Um, and all that stuff. And then
Jonathan Rambo.
who?
Um, I don't know.
And then how
Trying
the
to
how the games go. They use the New Year Bowl games, such as like the Cotton Bowl, the Fiesta Bowl, Orange Bowl, Fiesta Bowl, Rose Bowl, and the Sugar Bowl. They rotate each year between those two of those bowls every year to make those the semifinal game, make those the semifinal matchup. So because I think this year it is Cotton Bowl. There we go. Got it. Yeah. So this year semifinals are in the Orange Bowl and the Cotton Bowl.
Mm,
The national title game's at a neutral spot
right.
and all stuff, and that's a separate game entirely. For that. So yeah, but that's where we're at. That's how we're at. And then of course, as I mentioned earlier, it's a 14 playoff. We've talked about this earlier in episodes about how they there's talks of hopefully expanding it. That's what I'm hoping for really, and everything because I don't like the 4 team format anymore, especially how the last couple of years. This year I'm okay with it a little bit. Do with some do with some certain minor things that's happening right now.
Because Clemson's not in
No,
it.
I don't know. I'm happy Clemson's out
Why?
because they're one of the. So okay, so my beef with the playoff for the last couple of years. It's always been mostly the same four teams. That's Alabama. Well, three teams in a way, 4 teams. So it's always been Bama, Clemson, Ohio State, Oklahoma, and in some four. And it's some of those three. It's always like those three, out of those four, and then someone else and all that stuff. Whether it be like a Notre Dame, to give off an example, they done it one time. Um, Florida State, Oregon, those are like one offs. Um, let me see here, just in case I miss any. Yeah, so it's like so there's some offs, there's some
Didn't
offshoots.
LSU make it one?
Huh?
Didn't LSU make it one year?
They did. They're one of the teams. They won it and all that stuff. And that's the other thing. It's like it's always been dominated by a SEC team most of the time. And then so it's like
They know how to football.
they do. I'm not gonna lie. I'll be honest about that. I'm not gonna lie, but it's like it's for me. It's getting like it's being repetitive. We're seeing it
Yeah.
and all that stuff, and it's like it's why it's like I have stopped watching college football playoffs at least because it's like most likely you're gonna get an SEC team. Most likely the fact it's gonna be most likely Alabama that's gonna win it, or an SEC team in general because they have 4 of them out of the how many have we done so far? 6, yeah. They've done 4 out of the 6 years. I'm saying that correct. Yeah. So if I'm looking at this correctly, yeah. So Ohio State, Bama, Clemson, LSU, Bama.
Okay.
Especially that from 2016 to 2019, it was a back and forth between Bama and Clemson. And then like LSU, you would think I would be fine, but it's an SEC team, and I'm like, ugh. And then the fact that it was like then the next last year was Bama, oh my God,
That is true.
and all that stuff. So it's like, help, like, come on now. So that's why I'm like, I am hoping for an expansion of this and all that stuff because
Right.
more teams, better, hopefully good matchups, all that stuff. This year, this year I am gonna watch because of because again, the outside of this is like the 2 because so 2 of the teams there's their first time in the playoffs, Michigan and Cincinnati. Cincinnati's is going to be the interesting one because they are not part of the Power 5 groups, which is like the
Right.
Pac-12, the Big 10, the SEC, the ACC, the Big 12 and everything. So they're out. They're one of those groups on the outside looking in and all that stuff coming into this and everything. And like because like so it's like and then it's like that's one of the other things about this is like for that kind of team right here, they always when I was watching the playoff selection show and all that stuff that they do and all that stuff, they say that they base it off this year when it's a lie because Cincinnati's not a Power 5 school and they were undefeated the previous season but didn't make the playoffs. And for this year, though they've gone undefeated and the things that stood out is their win against Notre Dame at Notre Dame, and they were ranked number 5 in the playoff, so that helps them to be at that 4 spot and all that stuff. And then there's of course they went undefeated, but some of their games, because since they're in a lesser conference, so to say, they have to win with style points they call it, and that's pretty much blowing them out and all that stuff and everything and all that stuff. They didn't do that in some of their games, and it actually hurt them, which is surprising, which is crazy in all honesty, in my opinion, because like the number 1 seed Alabama had 3 near close games that they could have lost the game and all that stuff. And their one loss is to Texas A&M, who I don't even think is ranked in the playoff as of right now. And
No, they're not.
also, but the thing is, for that, the reason why they are at that spot is because they're in the SEC and all that stuff. So it's like it's a powerful. It's the top conference in all of college football and everything like that. So it's like, yeah, I get your point, but still, like, if they're supposed to be this dominant team that we've known so far, because like this year's Alabama team, minus the SEC title game this past Saturday, was not doesn't look like the same Alabama team from previous years, who are always dominant, who always can win are guaranteed to win their games, even in their own conference and all that stuff. And everything. They were supposed to be like how Georgia looked this season throughout, dominating teams and all that stuff and everything like that. So it's like, so the fact that because like going into Saturday's games, Georgia is ranked number one, being undefeated, dominating in the SEC and everything like that. Bama was ranked 3 and all that stuff after losing a very close game to Auburn and all that stuff, who's not ranked and all that stuff, and one of the worst teams in the SEC and all that stuff. So it's like, okay. So they ended up, because I think they were outside looking in on the playoffs before that ranking. And then, of course, like, they're not giving, Cincinnati is not getting anything out of this. So they jumped pretty much Cincinnati, which is fine, I guess, and everything. But it was just like, come on now.
Right.
It
Why
was
don't they just do a format like the NFL?
Well, hopefully that's what the 12 team will look like and everything. It's supposed to be like the top 4 will get a bye. I think top 4 will get a bye. Will get buys, and the rest will play out and all that stuff.
Did they not think of that when they made this whole thing? Did people
When they
not
first did
think,
this, when they
there's gonna
first,
be some sketchy
well, no,
stuff?
because that was the thing. Because like, so before the college playoff, there was the BCS, the Bowl Championship Series. That was entirely based off rankings, no matter what. And
Correct,
then,
which is
the top
a
2,
good thing.
and then at the top 2 teams, but it was the top 2 teams at the end of the season will get the national title game and all that stuff. And that's what sucked, because that was the one thing that was sucked about it, because there were other teams that did good, but didn't have a chance to earn their way to get a national title game and all stuff. I.e., Auburn and way back, an undefeated Auburn team made it, but ranked number 3 because of something. I forgot what happened in that year. Then there was then of course there was the Boise State game years when they were very good and they upset Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl, which I saw that game. That was a fun game to watch and all that stuff. So there was those, and there was other teams, teams outside of the Power 5 that were upsetting teams in these in the bowl games, in the big bowl games, like the not Cotton Bowl, Sugar Bowl and all that stuff and everything. So it's like there was like everyone was always asking for playoffs. When the idea came, they decided to start on a 4 team. I was fine with that. I was fine with that because we get a chance to see who can do this. Now we're in this point where we're getting repetition in a way. The fact, because we're seeing the same almost the same teams every time, especially in the title games and all that stuff. And then of course it's it's one big old conference that's dominating the whole thing itself too, and all that stuff. Because that's why it's like every time I see because the thing about this year too, which kind of upsets me in a way, but not surprising though at the same time, because it's like, here's the thing. So as I mentioned, Bama won the SEC title against Georgia. Georgia was ranked number 1. Bama was 3. And of course, Georgia, it was pretty for Georgia to win. But then at the end of the day, Alabama decided to flip a switch and be with the dominant team they used to be like, and rampaged over freaking Georgia in that game. And then what happens is, you would think of the fact of, so like I said, so Georgia's 1, Michigan's 2, Alabama's 3, Cincinnati 4 before that game and all that stuff. Since Michigan won their title game and then now Bama has one against Georgia. Who should be? But who do you think should have been number one?
Georgia.
With Georgia lost though. After
Bama?
after last game, who do you like in between? So like think of it because there's no way they're gonna move Cincinnati up. So you're gonna look at either Michigan or Alabama. Who out of those two teams, who did you think would have been number one?
Michigan.
You would think that, right? You would think that, right? But that's not what happened after yesterday when they released the final results. They put they pretty much what they decided to do is avoid a semifinal rematch in order to anticipate a national title rematch between Georgia and Alabama.
Bama.
Now, does that seem fair? Eh.
Nobody sells tickets.
That's the thing. That's the thing. It's gonna sell tickets for a potential national title game, but they don't know about that. But they don't want to lose out on that happening if they rematch them in the semifinals. Because
Yeah.
the thing is, you could put Michigan at keep Cincinnati at 4 and then put Michigan at 1. That way they fight, and then put the rematch at 2 and 3 with them. But they're not going to do that and all that stuff because ratings and all that stuff. Because that's the thing. You would think for the fact that it's like, yeah, Bama won their national game in good fashion. Don't get me wrong, style points and everything and all that stuff. But it's just like the thing is, it's like if you're looking at the season, how everything went, especially towards the last couple weeks of the season, Michigan had looking at it, Michigan's run in the last couple weeks is better than Bama's outside of the national title game. I mean, not their SEC title championship game. That's like their only like spectacular, I guess you could say spectacular win and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And everything. Because how else with Michigan? The close loss with Michigan State, yeah, honestly that's a game that they could win, but it was just not in their cards at the time. Dominated their last couple games, dominated against the former number 2 team in Ohio State, and then dominated the Big Ten title against Iowa, and all that stuff. So it's like that right there is like, in my opinion at least, is like they should have won. They should have that. They should have the number 1 seed, but no, because it's like no, because it's like you just pretty much flip flop the 2 SEC teams, and then it's like we're not going to give Cincinnati a bump up and all that stuff because they don't deserve it because they're not a Power 5 school. So they went undefeated. They have their one big win, which is which is a good win too, because it's against Notre Dame, who are now at the final rankings are ranked 5 in the playoffs and all that stuff, and that's a big win for them and everything. But it hurts them throughout the season because some of their wins haven't been spectacular wins or blown out wins and all that stuff, which they need. They need that and all that stuff, unfortunately. So it's like there's like all this crazy stuff, and then like if all went worse, like and all that stuff, say if like Cincinnati lost, they would have been out of the playoff in general.
Yeah.
And all that stuff and everything. Like if they had lost their game, they would have been out of the playoffs no matter what. And that would have sucked. And all that stuff. Because like the final 6 was Bama 1, Michigan 2, Georgia 3, Cincinnati 4, Notre Dame 5, Ohio State number 6. Imagine if there is a possible chance that Ohio State probably could have made the playoffs if say like Cincinnati lost, Michigan lost, and of course like Georgia lost. There was a chance of that. Like, oh my God. And so it's like all this stuff is why I'm hoping for a 12-team playoff, because like I can't like this is just painful to see. I think there was one year where they had a top 4 where it was 3 SEC teams. I was like, are you kidding me? Like you don't like I get it. Like SEC big teams, but like have some somewhat of balance. I get the fact that none of the other conferences are not as top tier as the SEC, but it just like I don't want to see an all like there. I think there was a chance. Like I think there was one team outside of the top four that was in the SEC, and I was like, I do not want to see an all SEC playoff. In all
Yeah,
honesty, because it's like it and all that stuff. Because that's I'm here to enjoy all of college football, not the SEC.
yeah.
In all
Don't
honesty,
worry. When Steve Sarkisian brings Texas back to Texas,
when what brings back
yeah.
to what?
I,
Did you
I
say?
had a brain fart there.
Did you say Texas brings back Texas?
No, when he brings, when he makes Texas look like Texas again. Yep. Mm. Make Texas great again.
And so delusional.
Yep. Make Texas great again. Steve Sarkisian,
Oh no,
2022.
no, no, no. In all honesty, though, I if he made that a thing,
That would be awesome, dude. That would
no,
be awesome.
no.
That
You know how bad. You know how bad that would look on the school because it would be so.
that would be awesome, dude.
No, it wouldn't.
I would rock that shirt so hard, dude.
No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. Like here's like I mean like I get where it's coming.
Oh
Like I
man.
would get where he's doing it, where it's coming from, if he like how he's doing it. But the fact of putting anything with great again just feels like it's just bad. Now I'm
That
sorry,
would be that would be immaculate, dude.
and all that stuff. It would be so bad.
That's his campaign for next season. Make
And all that
Texas
stuff.
great again.
All that stuff. Like that would be so
once we get
bad.
once we get Manning, that's what it's gonna be.
Oh, speaking of which, when you put that, that's what I meant to bring this up to you because I forgot about that. When you posted that story, I was like, "You're crazy, right?" I was gonna text you back and be like, "You're crazy, right?" Like I don't
Yep, yep.
him going to Texas. I don't know about that now.
He's going to Texas.
I don't think he's going to Texas.
Anybody listen to the podcast, go on Twitter, say Manning to Texas, hashtag Manning, not Manning. Manning to Texas, hashtag make Texas great again.
He is going to an SEC school,
Nope. Well, Texas.
an actual SEC school, not Texas.
Yep, that's what's gonna happen.
Hell,
He's
he
going to
probably
Texas. He's gonna put it. He's gonna bring us to the SEC. He's gonna win us some championships with Sharkees. It's gonna happen. Yep, yep. It's gonna happen. It's happening. I predicted the MCU. I can predict.
no stop,
I can.
stop, stop, stop. No, you really can't say that because you were all high on Texas before the season. Look what happened to them now. They're not even in a bowl game.
Yeah, but I still got faith in Texas.
Which no, that's fine. But I mean, like, you, it was such a bad.
It was. It was. But it gets worse before it gets better.
Yeah, yeah. I think Bama's fans have been saying that ever since for like the last I
It's
don't know how
the
many
it's
years.
the calm. It's the calm before the storm.
Still the same thing. The last couple years. Yeah. That calm is still
No,
going. That calm is still going.
yeah, and it's gonna be awoken by Manning coming to Texas and making us an SEC team.
I really don't think he's coming.
I think he is. Sark's is gonna be like, "Hey man, you can make Texas great again." And he's gonna be like, "You're right, I can." And he's gonna go, and we're gonna join the SEC, and we're gonna dominate. This is gonna happen.
No, oh, I guess this is the other thing I could talk about. Here's like one other thing last week. I think so. Oklahoma's coach Lincoln Riley is now going to be the coach of USC, University of Southern California.
Trojans.
Yes, all that stuff. So I'm actually excited for this and all that stuff because it
Yeah,
makes
me too. I hope he
because
restores USC.
I feel like the one thing that's been missing is that. USC because it's like college sports, well, football in particular has not been good and all that stuff and everything, and it's like it's been a distant thing, and it's like seeing that the fact that Riley's coming to USC, which shocked everybody, in all honesty, because nobody saw this coming. Everything he was linked to the whole LSU job, and that turned out not happening correctly. Um, but like seeing that, I was like, got me excited, and I'm not like a USC fan in a way, but I think it's just more of the fact that it's like there's a possible chance to be excited about Pac-12 football in a way now, and seeing hopefully a chance of USC returning to what it used to be back in like Reggie Bush days and all that stuff and everything when they were competing for championship titles and national titles and all and everything. And it's going to be exciting to see. I don't see much happening maybe next season, but hopefully in a couple of years and all that stuff we'll see them doing well in the Pac-12.
I'm pretty sure he's going to dominate the Pac-12
Oh,
in a couple of years.
most likely, especially now that Oregon's coach, he's rumored to go to Miami. Well, it looks like
Oh, wow.
it's all set. It seems like it's all set now because Miami just fired their coach earlier today. So it looks like it's most likely happening and all that stuff. So I say, I mean, if he doesn't do well, like if he does fine in his first season, that's totally okay. But I think like a couple years, we're gonna see USC what it used to be. Stuff.
Yeah.
And but I want to going back to like the playoff thing and the possible expansion. There's actual disagreement with it.
Why?
And all that stuff. Well, I mean, like, you're already playing like a 13 game season, and all 13, 14 game season, depending on what conference you're in and all that stuff. Um, it's college. Kids might miss out on freaking finals and all that stuff and everything like that. Which at the same time, it's like, do you even go to school classes and all that stuff? And that's just me. Um, I don't. I mean, it's like there's like there's like a what's the word I'm looking for? Health reason in a way, like fatigue, stamp fatigue, and all that stuff. Like not possible injury risk and all that stuff and everything. But the thing is, it's like move the bowl games up probably a bit. Maybe shorten the season. I mean, maybe shorten the season a little bit and all that stuff. Like and everything. Like it's bad enough. It's like you're already your first couple of games are against like lesser schools that you blow out every time
Yeah.
and all that stuff. So it's like you want the competition if you want and all that stuff. People wants the stuff. It's like take those out of the game. Start either do one or two games before your conference games, but don't do it against lesser schools, especially if they're like,
Yeah.
especially if they're not if they're from the was it the FBS season? No, not FBS, FCS. Those are like the lower tier schools and all that stuff and everything. Like, don't schedule against them. Like, do a group of 5 from like the conference that Cincinnati's in, the Mountain West, and everything, the MAC, and all that stuff. Do it against those schools at least and everything. They probably do, but I just or it's like don't be afraid and go against a team that's from another power conference and all that stuff. But here's the other thing though. You for college football, for those kind of games to schedule, you have to like schedule those like 5 years in advance.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Like, because I was listening about something about how like Cincinnati in particularly, how this year for them was a stroke of luck for them in a way because that Notre Dame game they had to schedule that far in advance to get that game. And what sucks though, it's like they were able to they had to do it at Notre Dame because like most likely schools are not willing to. I bet you anything like some schools are not willing to like do like a 1 game thing at someone else's place or something like that, knowing how greedy because money's always a situation and all that stuff. The fact so it's like it's kind of a stroke of luck for Cincinnati to be able to schedule that game in advance, get as good as they are right now, and able to win that game and be able to make the playoffs this year. But see, and that's the thing also. I think that whole thing right there, like scheduling your games in advance, that can't be a thing and all that stuff because it's like you're potentially, especially for like the lower, not the for like the schools like Cincinnati and all that stuff that want to get most likely probably want to get better and be in the conversation of making the college football playoff. They can be good for those couple years, but like say if they schedule against like or Notre Dame or Alabama or one of those big schools, but they have to do it in advance, and by the time they get to that game, they're not as good as they used to be, and all that stuff because a lot of stuff can change between those 5 years, and then they end up playing that game and they get blown out and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, so I think like that's a thing because in college basketball, that's not a thing. Actually, they normally do it when the season is beginning to start and all that stuff. They schedule their games and all that stuff like before the conference game start.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. So like that's a thing right there. So it's like that can't be a thing. I get it's a money thing, and also I get it's a money thing, and like potentially like for the smaller schools, they think of it as like, oh, that's like, you know, Alabama comes to them and be like, hey, can we schedule a game with you guys and all that stuff and for this much money, but you have to play at our place and all that stuff. That smaller school is like, oh, that's money. That's something that can help our school out. I get that right there, but at the same time, it's like, do you want to have your kids get embarrassed
True.
and all that stuff? Like, do you want their self esteem to lower down as much as they? But then again, like, here's the thing. Also, like, I'm not I'm not a athletic director or anything like that, a college football coach or college football player and all that stuff and know what their minds are like when that stuff happens. So that's neither here that I'm just thinking of how I my opinion about it. And college football has a lot to fix in all honesty. And but the thing is that they're just getting more greedy by the minute, especially in the SEC. And uh yeah, that's it for me about that because I all I gotta say is I'm watching the playoffs this year for the first time in a while because they're actually good matchups, interesting and all that stuff. So we'll see how that goes. Well, it is it. I will say though, if it's Bama and Georgia, I'm probably not watching the national title game. I'll be honest. If it's Bama and Georgia again. If it's Bama and Georgia in the national title game, I'm probably not gonna watch. I probably would have watched it if it was a semifinal game. I'm not. I'm gonna be honest and all that stuff. I'd rather them fight for it again for a national title. I mean, to get into the national title game than to go at it again for a national title.
Yeah.
And say and all that stuff because it's like, hey, if you want this title, if one of you two want this title that badly, if especially since they just flip flop placements in the playoff in the top four, like if you want this title game, you have to fight. You have to fight for it. That would be me. But what do I know? And all that stuff. Okay, on to some MCU chat. I forgot to add.
Yeah, there's actually one thing.
What?
There's actually one thing. Um, so it seems like because there's 4 months to AHL playoffs, um, we're still in first place. Because we jumped the rain because we were in first, we dropped down to second, then we jumped back up to first. Us and the rain are kind of in our division, kind of battling it out. Anyways, um,
I like the
we're
fact that you.
expected
I like the
to.
fact. I just like the fact that you bring this up after a long talk of college football when you already brought this team up in the beginning of this.
I had a wake up to podcast mode. Had to switch on. Um. Uh. So we got about 4 months, 3 months, 4 months to AHL playoffs.
Hmm.
What do you think about the AHL right now?
I don't know because I don't pay attention to it as much as I used to.
Oh, well, skipping over that topic.
So you should have.
Stockton Kings are uh,
I have. I
saying to be
haven't.
doing pretty good.
I haven't paid attention to the G League because since I know the season started and all that stuff, but I haven't paid attention to the G League. I need to get back. I need it. I need to get into that again. I know the Kings are doing what the Stockton Kings are doing well, from what I recalled based on standings. Um, I gotta pay attention to the Santa Cruz Warriors because I am a Warriors fan, so I have to pay attention to them also and all that stuff. I do. The only big news I know out of that is that Clay Thompson and Jace Wiseman, they're sent for assignment down there. I don't know if they're gonna play games there with the
That sounds
Santa Cruz Warriors, but that's
that
exciting.
sounds insane.
It's exciting because it's a chance to see at least Clay, at least him coming back with the team, hopefully by the end of the year and all that stuff and everything. But I haven't paid attention to G League as much as I should, all that stuff. But I heard the Stockton Kings have been doing well, which is good, which is nice to see, all that stuff. But they're doing better than the actual NBA team.
True. Hopefully that spells something great for Sacramento.
Let's hope
I
because
don't,
it's not been good.
I've seen, yeah. And also Golden One Center looks kind of sketchy from their upper deck.
I could have told you that. I could have
So
told you that from experience because I've been the golden one.
have you been to the upper deck? Because it's super,
Yeah,
super,
that's where my seat was. Like in that area.
yeah,
It was
super,
weird. It was
super slatted up,
it's weird. It was like I was like
super steep.
I don't know how I feel about this. And then
Feel like you're
because
gonna fall, huh?
yeah, because this was this during their it was when Durant was playing for the Warriors. That I know. I don't know if it was his first year or second year playing with the team. Third year and all that stuff. Third year. I don't remember. But yeah, I sat there. I was like, "Oh, this is so weird." And I don't know how I feel about this. And then like I ended up walking around the arena a couple times just to check it out
I don't blame you.
and all that stuff
I don't blame you. I wouldn't.
and everything. Well, I
I
mean,
haven't seen the full game there, but
so it's like there and so I've been the Golden One. I've been the Chase Center also. Chase Center out of the two, Chase Center is better and all that stuff with it, especially how seating works.
now is Golden One better than where did we go?
To
Oracle. Is
Oracle,
Golden One better?
Oracle for a Warriors game because I've been to Oracle for a Warriors game. Um, it's hard because Oracle is such an older arena and everything,
Yeah.
so it's hard to compare. It's hard to give that comparison. That's why it's like I was easier to compare Golden One with Chase because they're both newer. With Oracle though, like I will say my seat in Oracle when I saw the Warriors play, that was a good seat. It felt like a good seat. Still, like I felt comfortable where I was. I was Golden One. That was like I feel like if something went wrong, I would be dead. I'll be honest.
Because of the seating style? Is
How
that
the
what you're talking
seating
about?
style? Yeah, it was the seating style. It was just like, what were they thinking when they built this?
I, I heard it's like the second steepest upper deck in NBA in the NBA.
I wonder what the first one is.
Um um oh man.
Don't struggle.
Man. Barkley? Yeah, Barkley.
Barclays?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Barclays, my bad. Barclays.
It beats Sacramento by 5 degrees of steepness.
Glad I don't plan on going to New York anytime soon.
Isn't that in Brooklyn?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I said New York, but I just said New York because it's
No, just making sure.
Brooklyn's in New York.
Cause I was trying to think. I was like, I know the Nets play there. I was like,
But yeah, so it's like Chase Center better than Golden One as a newer thing. When it comes to like seating, Oracle, Golden One.
yeah.
I can't compare it to Sleep Train because I never went to Sleep Train for a Kings game
Me neither. I kind of wanted to. Not gonna lie.
and all that stuff.
Well, I wanted to go when it was called Arco.
When
I
yeah,
liked the Arco way better than Sleep. Remember Power Balance? Power Balance magazine.
it was a thing. It was a thing.
Power Balance stunk, didn't they?
Anyways,
Oh yeah.
anyways, on to some talk about the MCU. I forgot to put these on a doc for you, but let's give this a shot and see because you probably already know are these couple of them already. First things first, it was confirmed as of Sunday that from Kevin Feige himself that if Daredevil was to
Charlie
appear in the
Cox,
MCU, it would be played by Charlie Cox, who was
yeah.
Daredevil in the Netflix show. Do I have
Correct.
do I have Daredevil currently playing in the background in my house right now? Yes, but that's not a here or there. And I'm excited to see this happening. Now,
I am.
but I think here's the thing. I think this is the one thing we need to confirm to know of that. Are we going to see him sooner or later? Because you don't just
I say later.
because here's the thing. You don't just randomly blurt that out a week almost a couple weeks before your next big MCU movie is coming out. He's heavily rumored in this movie.
Yeah. I
I mean,
don't think so.
I don't know. See, here's okay. My thing is, if it's later, fine. That's fine. If somehow we see him in No Way Home, I'm gonna flip the fuck out. Did I just curse right now? Yes. Am I gonna blurt it out, bleep it out?
Oh,
Probably not.
cursed it.
Probably not.
You
We don't
cursed
get we're
it.
not we don't get monetized
That's
for
a
these.
no.
We don't get monetized. We don't get monetized for these on YouTube anyway, so it don't matter. Okay.
We don't get monetization.
We don't have monetization on anything really.
Well, we're not good enough.
Do you know the requirement?
Yes, actually.
You know the requirements to get monetization?
No.
1,000 subscribers. Is it? Yeah, 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of viewing time from people watching.
Whoa, that's a lot of viewing time.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy to see. Are we near those? Not at all. Yeah,
No.
1,000 subscribers. 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 public watch hours.
So we're like halfway there then.
No, we're not at all.
Try
We're
to
not.
be.
We're not at all.
I try to.
Not all this stuff. I think next year, hopefully we plan on getting that working and all that stuff. I have ideas.
Oh, me too.
We have big. We didn't get to talk about this before the podcast, Manny, but we have to schedule a meeting and we have to talk about
Yeah, we should.
2022 because ideas are popping and
I got a pretty good idea.
I
think you're gonna like it.
You say that every time, but it never happens. I don't like them, or I have questions, or I have so many questions about them.
All right, so No Name Podcast Beer League, right?
Oh dear.
A beer league team, right?
We'll talk about this in the meeting. We'll talk about this in the meeting. You're already like spoiling everything. Just by that. Anyways, but yeah, back to Daredevil, and all that stuff. Back to Daredevil. So that's one. So I already talked about No Way Home being another thing. The second thing about that, probably maybe sooner. Um, have you watched Hawkeye or caught up with Hawkeye? I
Yes.
take that as a no.
I
Um, I'm gonna take that
saw the
as
trailer.
you have not watched it at all.
No, I haven't.
Oh man! And last week's episode was so good, especially one part and all that stuff.
Kingpin in it yet? No.
Huh?
Is Kingpin in it yet?
No.
Call me when Kingpin's in it. No.
And all that
I'm
stuff.
kidding. I'm kidding.
Watch just you have to watch.
No, I know I do.
It's a good
I
show.
want to.
In all honesty, it's a
I
good.
just been forgetting.
In all honesty, like so far, I've been enjoying that show. And all that stuff. Like I'm excited. It's been fun. It's so different from the other three shows, and well, what if and include of course what if and all that stuff. But I'm totally fine with that, really, because it's like you need different, you need something different and all that stuff with these shows. And this one is so it. And I'm not saying it is these. It does remind me of the Netflix shows, but more MCU style. All that stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
it is in New York and all that stuff. It has that street vibe style to it, similar to the Netflix shows, but just more MCU related
Yeah.
and all that stuff and everything and all that stuff, which is nice. And and of course, it's not going to have the whole violence, crazy violence that you see in Netflix shows and all that stuff. And that's honestly, I'm fine with that, really, and all that stuff. If I wanted to see that, I would watch the Netflix ones and all that stuff.
Okay, now I have a question.
Sure.
Okay. So now out of all the Netflix shows via Marvel, I had a favorite. Okay. That was The Punisher, right?
Oh,
Now, if we see The Punisher, do you think it's going to be Johnny Berthenol? Because I
it's
hope
okay.
it is.
Okay, so it's funny you mentioned that. It's funny you mentioned that because I had saw something this past weekend. I didn't get to read it though. The article there was something that said I guess someone had asked him if he would be the Punisher again. Would he be the Punisher again? Um, if he was part of the MCU. Apparently, he doesn't want to play it. From the quote, I don't know if this is true because I didn't get to read the article. I'm just going off what I remember. He said he didn't want to play if he was going to play the Punisher again. He wouldn't play. He would not want to play our watered down version of it
Oh, okay. For
and all that
sure.
stuff.
I don't blame him.
But again, I mean, like, I don't blame. Like, I get that, but at the same time, it's just like, again, I don't know the article. I didn't get to read it. I missed it. I couldn't find it when I was trying to look it up again. Um, I don't think like here's the thing. So it's like I think Marvel, the MCU in particularly, I don't think they would not want to do that, like water down Punisher and all that stuff. It's just more the fact of what can they do with them and all that stuff and where to put them and all that stuff. Right as of right now, of where everything's going and all that stuff and everything. So I don't think they would, in my opinion. Um, in all honesty, it's like because like Disney as a whole, I mean, like Marvel Studios has other ways to show them, especially if they're going to show them in a more violent way, too. Like they can put the show on Hulu. It's just a Marvel Studios production still, and everything like that. Because like
True.
since Disney Plus is more of the is supposed to be more of the family friendly style kind of thing, though. I mean, some of the Marvel shows have the they have some dark moments, but not like as bad
Yeah.
and all that stuff. And then of course when Eternals come out after that scene, oh, have you seen it? You haven't seen Eternals yet, huh?
No, I know.
Okay, thank you for the spoilers so that everyone hasn't seen it. God damn it.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, but you know the spoiler, but you don't have to just because you know the spoiler doesn't mean you have
Oh,
to spoil it for everyone else.
So that's kind of violent.
Come on, Manny. Stop. I get you know spoilers, but come on now.
Just bleep it out.
Golly. Stop bleeping. Why do you have to make me edit this darn thing?
Trying to make you.
Don't make. Come on, man. Bad enough after other stuff. I'm not even gonna bleep my F word. You gotta make me. Man. Anyways, there's a particular scene. There's one scene in there that's like, should this be on Disney? It's not bad. I don't know. Anyways, I'm just gonna move on from that. But anyways, like I wouldn't be surprised if like say if there is a Marvel Studio Punisher or heck even maybe Daredevil since we now Charlie's now is coming back and it's gonna be more similar. It's gonna be similar to Netflix, but part of that, and they'll put a Marvel Studios production show those shows, but put it on Hulu. Disney owns Hulu, so they can do that stuff because since Hulu is gonna be more is the more adult stuff in a way
Yeah, Cloak and Dagger.
and all that stuff. True, that was freeform.
Oh, you read
That was freeform, but okay.
It's on Hulu.
Huh?
It's on Hulu.
Yeah, and a lot of stuff. I mean, I mean, the others, the one show that was Marvel produced on Hulu was the Runaways. Good first season. I never got to finish it. But yeah, so it's like it's not out of the woodworks. I feel like if I don't like I said, we don't know really any plans of how they could distribute this, but I think like with Kevin Feige at the helm and Marvel Studios being under the Disney umbrella, like I think there's a way to utilize Hulu in a way to make so that way you have that kind of other style of content and all that stuff
Yeah.
and all that stuff. But I don't think I don't think like Kevin Feige would be like, oh no, we're gonna make everything like PG-13 and all that stuff and everything and all that stuff. I feel like there is Marvel characters in the show. There are Marvel characters that are there that are like can be specifically on a Hulu only Marvel Studios production show that has like the adult vibes and all that stuff. And I'm all for that, all that stuff. Will it all that stuff? If people and all that stuff, like people will probably there'll probably be some people that complain, some people will be excited about it, but at the end of the day, it's like I think the MCU is at a point now where they can find a way to not consider it to all ages and spread it, but still separate the demographic and all that stuff, while also entangling it into one universe
Yeah.
and all that stuff. So it's because there's like thing you because how I see it is you can do the whole like I said, say if they brought back everyone back from the Netflix show, but they get their own shows, they're on Hulu and all that stuff and all that stuff, and they're that same style in a way of like the dark adult style. But when it comes to crossovers in a way, don't be surprised if they have to be more. I don't want to say dumbed down because I don't want to call it that, but more
Watered
particularly
down.
not even watered down. Because no, I don't want to call it that because it's like they're still that character. It's just they're in a different style of whatever that is of that ever wherever they're crossover with and all that stuff. Say if Daredevil does end up in No Way Home, he's gonna be who we saw as always, but gonna be more related to within that movie. He's not in all that stuff. We're not gonna in all that stuff. Everything. There'll probably be some blood, not as much, or if they fight and all that stuff and everything, but it's gonna be more of that and also into that show, into that particular into that. And then of course but if you want to see him where he should have been, that's where his hopefully potential Hulu show will come in and all that stuff and everything. Where it is what you want, similar to the Netflix shows and all that stuff. And then maybe some characters that will come into that have that still too. If they jump into that side of the world and everything, they'll look a little like that more to that show and everything. But like going over to different stuff, there is gonna be some I'm not calling it watered down. I'm not calling it dumbed down because it's not that. It's just more into the style of what that is and everything. So it's possible. I say it's possible. I think it's and all that stuff. It maybe sound crazy to some people, but hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. But I'm excited. I'm happy and all that stuff to see that we have Charlie coming back as Daredevil, wherever it be, No Way Home, or maybe in the potential She-Hulk show comes out next year and all that stuff. And like I said, I think honestly, I really think the whole Hulu thing is a good. The Hulu opportunity is there for them. That Hulu idea, making some of the shows that are more like Punisher, for instance. I can see that happen.
Yeah.
All stuff, and then put it on Hulu. Like I said, Disney owns Hulu. You have the opportunity of putting some of those Disney Marvel Studios production style shows into that kind of world, with that world into Hulu, and if not having to put it on Disney Plus and all that stuff, because that is see that is an idea of marketing it of potentiality right there that you can sell Disney Plus bundles and all that stuff with that right there. Like, hey, what are the benefits of having that? Disney Plus Marvel Studio shows on Disney Plus, such as like WandaVision, Loki, all that stuff, the She-Hulk, New Moon Knight, and everything, and all the potential ones, all the other ones that are coming out in the future. Marvel Studios production adult style shows on Hulu. That that's cash grab right there.
Yeah.
That is literally cash grab. All that stuff. Now, the one thing about it though that's gonna probably be weird is the whole thing about the Netflix the show if they somehow bring all the characters back and they put them on Hulu. Where how does that go with the Netflix stuff and everything like that? There's that conundrum and all that stuff. That's neither here nor there, and I don't want that's legal stuff that I don't know about. Um, but all I'm saying though is like Disney. You have your movies, of course. You can keep that PG-13 for everything and all that stuff. Maybe and all that stuff. I'm fine with that. Um, you have your Disney Plus shows, a little more grounded stuff and all that stuff, different styles and all that stuff. And then of course your Marvel Studios production shows on Hulu, which are gonna be probably more adult and everything like that, similar to the Netflix style shows. Maybe a little bit toned down a bit. There we go. Toned down. That's the word I was looking for. It's a little more appropriate right there. But on Hulu, but you're in all that stuff. But that's more. But it is more adult in a way, and all that stuff, and it's all there and all that stuff. Just saying, all that stuff. You have two streaming services. He can literally Kevin Feige has two streaming services that he can utilize for all ages outside of the movie theater and all that stuff. Cause like I'm fine with the movies being PG-13. Really, some of the stuff maybe it can be R depending on the situation, on all that stuff. You would probably, well, I mean, it's Marvel Studios still. They don't show the Disney logo. They don't show the Walt Disney Pictures logo in the beginning of their movies anyway, so it don't matter
Yeah.
and all that stuff. So that works either way and all that stuff. And again, like your show, you can do two styles of shows. One on the ones on Disney Plus that we have currently and all that stuff, and then the ones that are going to be on Hulu. And you have tons of characters you can put on into that for that in particularly. Hell, once X-Men comes in, a Hulu Wolverine show on Hulu, Marvel Studios, it's more of the grittier style of Wolverine. I'll be down for that.
That'd be cool.
Mm-hmm. I'm loving this idea. This idea is magnificent. Disney, hope you're paying attention to this. And all that
They're
stuff.
not.
They're not, but still, I'm just saying. Just saying. Feige, I'm telling you, man, it works. Plus, the Disney Plus bundle signups you would get out of that. It's beautiful.
You should make another Caddyshack if you're listening, Kevin Feige. That'd be dope.
Oh, wait, what? What?
Didn't Disney make Caddyshack?
I
Right?
have, I have no idea. Let's see.
Is that the one with Bill Murray? Right? That's not the one with Bill Murray, huh?
Yeah, Bill Murray's in that.
Yeah, yeah. Make up number two.
Oh,
That'd be awesome.
that was Warner Brothers. So wrong company,
Uh,
wrong company.
who's the leader of Warner Brothers
I don't
right
know.
now?
I don't know.
Leader of Warner Brothers. Should
Huh?
make a Caddyshack too. That'd be awesome. I said leader of Warner Brothers. That'd be awesome. Make a passing of the torch of Caddyshack. That'd be awesome.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Oh
Netflix,
my
make a
gosh.
Happy Gilmore too.
So so speaking of Disney Plus shows and all that stuff, which will go into the second thing of the MCU, is officially confirmed that Shang-Chi sequel is in the works. The director from the first movie, Dustin Daniel Cretton, will be returning as director and writer. Also, he will be in. There's also in development of a Disney Plus show spinning off from Shang-Chi. We don't know what it's going to
Mm.
revolve with, but it is probably going to relate to whatever comes from the sequel of the movie and all that stuff. So that is officially a go. The sequel is officially happening. I mean, we already knew it was going to happen and all that stuff. Hearing it's official is a good thing and all that stuff. And the fact that there's going to be a Disney Plus show coming with it after it, all two to spin off. Um, Exciting times in the MCU right now and all that stuff. Do you think so? I don't know. It depends on how where the sequel goes and all that stuff, and especially at the after credit scene of the first movie. Do you see possibly a Ten Rings show with the sister based off that? Yes, I. It's on Disney Plus. Deal with
I
it
could see that.
and all that stuff. And all that stuff. Like, cause
You know what would be cool on Disney Plus?
oh dear,
Uh, a Woo show. That'd be awesome.
a Woo show would be cool.
That'd
Woo
be
having
awesome.
something with Woo in it would be cool. That stuff. I would love to see that. Have him just travel around the different dimensions and all that stuff.
Yeah, maybe that ties into the Shang-Chi show or number two.
I was just thinking, but okay, sure.
I mean, it works.
So congratulations. Well, I mean, again, like, I mean, I'm happy. I'm just happy because that was a good movie. I loved that movie and everything, and I was waiting for that movie. I was waiting. I was and excited for the sequel. I'm really excited for the sequel. See where
Me
that
too.
goes. So
Hope who's in it.
who?
Woo.
Woo. Oh. Uh.
Who? Woo.
Who?
Yeah. It's like, yeah, woo. Who? Yeah, woo. That'd be hilarious. Who's on first? Uh, so, anyways, that, sorry, that was horrible.
Oh my
Um,
gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh. So we didn't. Oh, so we do an episode. Did that happen? Hold on. I gotta check something, guys. Sorry, I'm looking. Okay, yeah. So might as well talk about this now since it is MCU related. Yeah, MCU related. We'll probably talk about it. We'll talk about it a little bit more. So Spider-Man tickets are officially out. Um,
I didn't get any.
we have our tickets as
Oh, we
Manny
do.
as Manny thoroughly just didn't understand right now. Um, even though I did say we got them like so many times, but I will kid you not because we didn't get to talk about this since we didn't have an episode last week. We got our tickets December 17th, Friday night, AMC Theaters, Dolby Cinema. Um, that was a pain and a half to get those tickets. That was a pain and a half. And all that stuff. I'm glad we didn't record that night.
Yeah, because you stayed up like,
So like 2 in the morning
yeah.
and all that stuff. Cause I was like, I was like, I can't believe I'm doing this. All that stuff. It was like, if I remember correctly, it was like we didn't record because of some. Was it because I had family related stuff, right?
Yeah, and we pushed it, and then you were like,
Oh,
actually, never
I couldn't
mind.
record the Tuesday. I couldn't record the Tuesday. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. So yeah. So I was like, great. Oh no, because like we didn't record because I was supposed to do something, but that didn't happen. So I was like, you know what? We'll just push it to tomorrow and all that stuff. And but that way I gave it time though, so that way I can get ready to get the tickets.
yeah.
So I'm minding my so tickets came out. Oh no, wait, I did it Sunday because that's when it. My bad, I didn't do it Monday. I did it Sunday night. I did it Sunday. I remember now because like we were all talking about that Sunday and all that stuff and how like how originally how we plan how I was because I came up actually planning it and then that's when Isaac texted me about getting his ticket for him. That way, and he'll just pay me back. So because I was literally about to mention that I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna get all our tickets. So that way we do it that way it's all at once and we don't have to worry about just in case of something happening. Turned out to be a good plan, though it took me a very long time to get the tickets. Um, so it was 8:40 something when I had found out apparently they started early to sell them. So I literally got on the AMC app, the AMC website, and they popped up, and I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm getting in, and then like I got in, I couldn't, the seat selector couldn't load up and everything like that. I'm like, what is happening? Um, Refreshed everything, kept going for a while. I'm like, okay, oh my, this. By, by the time it hit 9, I was able to do it, but it put me in a queue time, and that's when I was like, so first wait was like not bad, 15 minutes, which was fine. Um, Still couldn't pick seats. I'm like, God dang it. Reload, expanded, went to 30 minutes. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Got it. Still couldn't load seats. I'm like, are you kidding me? Now it went to 40 something minutes. I'm like, oh, here we go. It's not gonna be good. 40 minutes, that went by. Got my was able to pick seats, but then I couldn't, it wouldn't let me for some reason it didn't notice because this was on the website. It didn't know for some reason it asked me to log in, even though I was already logged in. I'm like, heck. And then there was like an error after that when trying to log in. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? All that stuff. Try it on the app. Able to get through, pick the seats, get there. Couldn't get through the payment process. I'm like, what is happening right now? Because I had to. If I didn't have to pay for Isaac's ticket, we probably would have been good and all that stuff. Since me, you, and Arturo
I'm,
have a list
I'm really kidding.
and all that stuff, and I was using the A list entourage feature, which allows me to get Manny's and Arturo's ticket for them and all that stuff.
That's correct.
And but I since I had to pay for a ticket, couldn't get to the payment process. Next wait time was 50 something minutes. I'm like, are you? It's like, couldn't go through and all that stuff. And then like one time, through all this whole process because of the wait time, one of them I got in, but I got it for Thursday night. I was like, damn it, wrong day. So I had to get out, go in, and all that stuff. I was like, but then I was thinking about it. So, you know what? I should just buy one for Thursday nights for me.
When are we going?
We're going
Oh my
Friday
gosh.
night. We're going Friday night.
Friday night?
You couldn't
Okay,
do Thursday night. Remember?
that's true. And I can't do Saturday. So
And all that stuff. So I was like, because I was literally thinking, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy one Thursday just for myself because I just want to go. But I was like, nah, I'm gonna go. And that whole NFT, I was like, I'm not gonna get that. And then plus, like, apparently, like that whole NFT thing that was a thing too. And I was like, no, there's probably a chance of me not getting that. Anyways,
yeah,
um,
what are NFTs? They're
I
pictures that you buy.
there's
Why is that a thing?
that's a whole digital thing that I don't want to get into and all that stuff. And but so kept going, going. Wait time lasted almost an hour or so. Um, I finally got so it finally came. Got him, got our tickets. Was able to get to the payment process. Paid him, got him. Finally said, and then when I saw it, it said, "You're set. You're all set, Ricky," because it was on the website. And I was like, and I was so happy. All that stuff because I was just like, finally, I can go to bed. I had to go to work the next day. So I work from home.
Now let's hope we don't get spoiled.
Oh, between now and then? Oh my gosh.
No, between Thursday and Friday because that's when
Oh,
doesn't
I'm staying on social media.
nobody's seen it yet, right?
I'm saying so here's the thing. So normally beforehand there's always like the premiere and presser days where they early screenings for pressers and all that stuff.
Right.
So apparently there is going to be like a press screening, but they're only showing 40 minutes of the movie from what I'm hearing
Oh, that's good.
from what I hear. So
So
they're
before Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire come in.
pretty much and all that stuff. So I was like, okay, this is good, I guess. Like no reason to worry and all that stuff. But it's like, but the thing is though, it's like for stuff like that, for like early screenings for like media outlets to do reviews, they normally what they do is they have them they put embargoes on them. So and all that stuff was where you have until this
You
day.
can't publish anything
You can't
until
say
right.
until this day, yeah, until this particular day, and all that stuff. Or it's like there's like separate ones where you do a social. There's a social media embargo where you can post on social media about it and all that stuff. But the risk about that is potential spoilers, i.e., what happened with the whole Eternals thing with hair and all that stuff. Because the whole there was
Yeah.
and all that stuff, and because someone spoiled the mid credit scene like a dummy and all that stuff, and ruined it for some people and all that stuff. And but then like no, so it's like nobody's like posting stuff on social media and all that stuff and everything like that. And so the fact that they're doing a that long of a presser, it's like it's interesting of what they're hiding, but at the same time, it's like they're really trying not to spoil this movie and also. I mean, like
Yeah.
they don't want to like get that all messed up and everything like that and screw it over. Um, have people not be upset about it, which is fine. But it's like, so the thing is though, there's a there's a screening on the 15th in LA.
Oh,
Um
really? That's weird.
so I don't know if you heard of him. He's a TikTok person named Soups. He's like a talks about comic book movies and all that stuff and everything like that. He's like a big Spider-Man person too. Um
Is he the one that plays with McNasty and Grizzly?
no,
Oh.
he's a TikToker. I mean, he started off TikTok for.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, you don't. I don't think you knew he. Yeah, you're like he's because he's on.
And
He's
there's a Twitch streamer named Stoops.
no, he's a TikToker.
Well, he's on TikTok too.
He's a big
Stoops is on
TikToker.
TikTok as well.
Huh?
Stoops is on TikTok as well.
No, that's what I said. He's on TikTok.
Yeah, so is Soups though. The other one.
Well, his is spelled Supes.
Oh, I think another one is Double P.
Okay, see, there's a
Double
difference.
P. Yes, I think.
There's a difference then. Um, but yeah, he's like this big. He's like talks about comic book stuff, related stuff, and everything like that. And is like a big Spider-Man person and all that stuff. And he's been talking about like No Way Home for like the last year and a half, and then like he announced on like this past Friday, how he was gonna do something, and apparently it's the whole this on the 15th in LA there is a very early screening of the movie itself, like the whole movie. So I'm scared on I'm gonna be scared after that of what spoilers are gonna get put out.
Now when's the 15th?
The 15th. That's on a Wednesday.
So
So
wait, it's not this week Spider-Man comes out?
it's next week.
Oh, I thought it was this week.
No, I said the 17th. It's which is next week.
Oh, I'm going to the hockey game then. Forget this.
Wait, what?
I was gonna go to a hockey game, but I thought Spider-Man was this weekend, so I didn't get tickets. But now I'm going.
Oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? But yeah, so like, there's gonna be 2 full days of potentially spoilers, and like stay off your For You page, because that's where I hate it. That's where it's the worst at. Stuff when it's on TikTok and they like show it, I'm like, bruh. Stuff like, come on now, like we're trying to like watch it. We want to enjoy this, and you're spoiling this shit.
Yeah.
Like that's the last thing we need, and all that stuff. For that, and on
Well,
this,
actually, the last thing we need is to be going to the movies and roll down a cliff and all four of us die.
don't say that.
But I
Don't.
mean,
Why? 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 Why would you put that on us?
that is the last thing we need.
I didn't. I wasn't referring to our deaths. I was just referring to about being
Uh,
spoiled. Okay.
I don't believe in that.
So I'm just referring to like our being spoiled. You didn't have to take it as.
I mean, like Kanye said, as long as you don't believe in death, you can't die.
Why are we talking about death? We're just talking about not being spoiled. A move about a movie that we've been
Spoiled
waiting
to
for.
death.
Stop. 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 You're not. Oh my gosh. Why do you always have to take things a step further?
I mean,
Stuff.
it's like there's a glass ceiling and you just gotta break through. You never see 21 Jump Street or 22 Jump Street? I mean, where?
Anyways, talking about Spider Man. But yeah, we got our tickets. We're seeing it on the 17th, next Friday, Manny, and all that stuff.
Yep.
Um,
Not this Friday.
Next Friday,
Yep.
and everything like that. So, well, we will talk about it in the episode after the movie. After the movie comes out, I will probably see it 2 more times and everything. For that, and then we'll let you know of what we think about it. Um, On to our
Number 4.
next couple topics, because we are way over.
You know, you
So
gotta. There's a glass ceiling and you just gotta break through. You know what I mean?
don't use the same thing. Don't try to use something else. Don't try to do it yourself. Oh. On to video game stuff. Because we love video games and everything. Fortnite Chapter 3 Season 1 is officially here.
Love's a big word.
What?
It's like I don't know. Love's a big word.
Okay, for you, I don't know. Me, yes.
I would say I really enjoy video games.
I do. I love video games. Okay. So chapter
I
3
love
season.
bacon.
Come
That's
on,
the thing.
Manny. Chapter Fortnite again. Chapter 3, Season 1. Fortnite is officially here. The chapter 2 finale event was this past Saturday. The new season has begun as of this past Sunday, and me and Manny has played it on the day of. Manny,
I have played. Yeah.
Manny, do you find it surprising that we played 5 hours of that?
No, no, I don't.
Really? Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Why?
We started like at 3. Didn't
I
get off until like 8.
I
So
just
like I kind of figured.
no, I mean for the fact of like it didn't feel like it was 5 hours in a way
Oh no, it didn't.
and all that stuff like everything. I get the fact you're not surprised that we played 5 hours because it did take that long. I mean for the fact of like it felt like it didn't feel like it was 5 hours.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. I get your drift. No, I didn't know. I didn't realize that. That's crazy.
Okay, first things first. We have a brand new map. We have a whole set. We have a brand new. We have a brand new battle pass with a bunch of new characters. Spider Man is the pretty much the final skin in the battle pass. We have the secret battle pass, which is who is called the Foundation, who is starred by everyone whoever
The
for
Johnson Rock.
for people who don't pay attention to Fortnite leaks and everything like that is Rock and everything. So he's like teased it since like the beginning of what chapter 2 season 6 I want to
4.
say 6 season 6
No,
season
that was
6.
close.
Not at all, because chapter 4 was the
I
Marvel season.
I
Season 4
was
was
too
the
off.
Marvel
I
season.
thought yeah, I thought he was coming as season 5 as Black Adam. That's why. That's what I thought. And then-
What's Black
what
Adam
the
part of
fuck?
again?
Black Adam's part of the Shazam trilogy.
And
That's
what which in what comic publication?
Detective Comics.
There you go.
Why is there comics twice, by the way? That doesn't make any sense.
No, you just said it twice. I don't think it's
No, it's DC Comics.
yeah.
Yeah, Detective Comics.
Well, no, because you don't say DC Comics like that.
Yeah, you do.
I don't.
I don't just say DC.
I
What if I'm
do.
talking about the shoe?
Huh?
How do I know you're not talking about the shoe or the city?
Because I always say DC
Yeah. What if you talk? How do I know you're not talking about the shoe?
because you know me.
maybe, maybe
Because
you're like, listen, I'm
because
trying to invest
me
in
and you,
DC.
Manny, you have to know like when it's especially if it's me that's talking. I can understand you saying that if it's someone else you don't know or someone else you that don't talk about comics, movies, stuff like that. I can understand that and all that stuff. I get what you're saying there, but when it's like me, if I'm saying DC, I am referring to the comics. Unless I say what, if I'm going to say like the C, I am going to say Washington DC. So that way I can
No, we're
clarify
talking
with
about the
you.
shoes though. What if you're like,
I don't. I
I'm
don't
trying to
because
invest
I
in
don't talk about
DC.
those. I don't talk about them. That's because, like you say, I'm trying to get some DCs or something like that. I don't know. I don't know how to rephrase that because I don't get
I'm
those kind
trying
of
to get
shoes.
some DC.
I don't even
Trying
get
to get
those.
some DC.
I'm trying to get some DCs up in here.
Now you gotta say hizzy. You gotta say up in this hizzy.
Okay, stop. Don't let's
Because
not get.
that's the last no, that's the last time point that people actually said I'm gonna get some DC. Yes. Do they even sell DCs anymore? Are those
I
still a thing?
I have no idea. All that stuff. Anyways, back to Fortnite because we gotta go on. Manny, what are your based off the 5 hours we played? What do you think about the new chapter season and everything that's we've played so far?
Wolves can swim, so that's cool.
I said, give me your thoughts. I didn't say what surprised you.
uh, it was cool. I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. Thoroughly. Um, had fun. Uh, I'm only getting the BP because I want the rock. But other than that, it's a cool season. And I like the story that they're going for. So that's cool. That's about it. That's roughly my summary. That's it. Welcome to TikTok.
I love the story where it's going. I'm like, Manny, do you even pay attention to what the story overall?
Yeah, the aliens came down, and then the Cube Queen was like, "I'm gonna destroy the island for some reason," and then basically the Rock came down and was like, "No," and then him and then the guy from Community, we have we have the
Your audio's cutting out. Just to let you know. At least he listens to me. I tell these stuff stories. Give him that. Manny, you're. I don't know if you're fixing your audio, Manny, but I'm just letting you know you're muted. Just to make sure. I don't know that. Probably do, um, but yeah. While Manny fixes his audio stuff and everything, um, my initial impressions for the season. This season, I'm gonna be honest about this on how I feel. Like I feel that this is a
All right, I'm back.
okay. You good?
Yeah. So anyway, so The Rock and then the guy from Community is like, Nah, we're not feeling that, Mrs. Cube Queen. Can we call you Mrs. Cube Queen?" And she's like, "No, not really." And then, uh, she's like, "So I die is people spray water on me," and they were like, "Oh, good to know." And then they went back and then they huddled, and then they thought about it, and then they were like, "All right, break." And then they flipped the island, and then that killed her, and then all the spaceships went away. That's what happened. That's where we're at right now.
At least, um,
I'm pretty sure all of that was correct.
some of it, yeah, but not all
I'm
of
pretty,
it.
I'm pretty sure all of it. What wasn't correct? What wasn't correct on that?
So, in particularly, so you did talk about season 7 with the aliens. Yes, they did invade. You did chapter 8 with the whole queen thing. That is true. The whole thing about the foundation and the scientist, which is of course The Rock and Joe McHale, uh, that is technically true in a way, but they didn't fight the Cube Queen because they were more worried about flipping
No,
the
they just
island.
talked to her, and then
They didn't talk to her.
yeah, they talked to her via Twitter.
No, oh,
They were Twitter beefing
stop. Here we go.
for a while.
Here we go. Here we go.
That's
Here we go. Anyways, we're not gonna get that much into the story. If you want to pay attention to the story, I would go to YouTube channel Top 5 Gaming. They're pretty good with that.
I'm pretty sure I got the story pretty much dead on.
Anyways, what based on what I was gonna say, um, I'm gonna be honest, and this is just me in particularly. I don't know if anyone else will feel this way about it. To me, I'm getting chapter 1 vibes with the new map in a way. Um, and all that stuff. Like it just feels like I'm back in chapter 1, just just with different looks and everything like that. Half of the map is in snow right now, but that's because of it's just going with the winter vibe right now, currently in the season. The snow is most likely planning to melt later on in the season. And everything we'll get the actual how it actually looks once the snow is gone. I We have brand new guns. Everything from the previous 2 chapters are gone. Gun wise, such as like the pump, the regular AR and all that stuff. There's these brand new guns that are in the game. Which I will say shotguns are not as usable as I are not as usable. I enjoy using the Ranger AR more than the MK. Though the MK is fun to use, it's just very shocking when you have to use when you go into ADS and it's actual first person ADS. So it's like heck weird at times still. Um, but that gun is fun to use. The SMG in the game is nice to use. Um, the new features such as like the tent, the the the, the med spray. I forget the actual name for it. That was the actual name for it. Those have been very helpful to use. The one thing I fear about the tent in a way, so you can put weapons in it. You can store weapons, and you can do that for like also like mythic weapons, such as like the Foundation AR, which is like the most powerful gun in the game right now. So with the tent, you can store stuff and it carry over to future games. I'm afraid the one thing I'm afraid about is like having that gun in your tent, and that's the first thing you grab in the next game you play, because that's like instant killing people already and all that stuff. Now I'm fine with the fact of like if it's like the regular style ones, like common, uncommon, rare, legendary, and all that stuff. Those ones, like those color rarities. But a mythic one in particularly, because there's also plans of bringing out more of those later on in the season. I f- I fear that like people are gonna do that, especially if when we're playing in team based games, and then like people are gonna do is grab a tent first, grab those guns, and then like a potential chance of wiping the whole map in a way and all that stuff and everything. And I don't know if that's a good thing because it's like you're automatically grabbing these very powerful weapons and all that stuff that are supposed to be like the only way to get them is through like bosses and all that stuff, but you're able to grab them. Say if you do grab it, get your tent, store it for later, store it, and then boom, and all that stuff. Use it and all that stuff. Put it back in the tent. Use it for the next game. I don't know if that's a good thing in my opinion and all that stuff. At least for the very powerful ones and all that stuff. For the powerful weapons. Um, it's the tent is valuable. I like using the tent for like medical stuff, medkits, shields, and all that stuff. That I think that's fine to use it. That's how I use it. So that way I can go into a game with full shield at least. At the start if I land near a tent. But other than that, I like that. The med spray is fun. Is like my go to thing to use now. Especially because like you can spray while you're running, so that way you don't have to worry about stopping and healing at the same time. The fact that you can use it on partners,
The match play is pretty awesome.
the meds, it's awesome because you can do it. You can use it with your friends also and everything. Um, the so that's those are cool too. That's been cool to use. Oh, something I found out today, which it kind of confirmed to me. So, when it comes to reviving, the more people that revive you, the faster it goes. That's an actual thing now and all that stuff. So
Right, yeah, like you can revive yourself. Not revive yourself, I'm sorry.
if you're down
Yeah, yeah.
and it's like so it's if it's a squad, all three of your teammates can revive you and it goes faster, especially with the reboot
You can
version,
also
especially on the
access
reboot.
your tent stuff while you're downed. So that's cool.
That's weird.
Yeah, you can purchase the tent or not purchase the tent. You can claim a tent, like an abandoned one,
Mhm.
and also you can go through it while you're down. So that's cool.
That's kind of weird, but I don't know. We'll see about that.
That might just be
Apparently,
a bug that they're probably gonna fix.
probably
But
because like here's the thing. There's also a thing where if you're at a say like you have a building and you have a high point, if you place a tent down and you stand on top of it and say your structure falls off, you don't die of fall damage.
oh, that's pretty awesome.
All that stuff. That's probably a bug right there too, though. Everything for that too. So it's like so that's something I caught too. So for that, all the locations all seem viable. The land. The rumor that there's a rumor that Tilted Towers is gonna come back when the ice melts away
Mm.
and everything. So there's that coming soon. There's that. There is that. Um, Vaults are back, and the way to get them that you have to be with somebody to unlock them. So it's like duos 2 people, trios 3, squads 4. You can do it in a solo game by um either hiring an NPC or
Oh, okay.
by knocking those 7 soldiers that are at the outpost.
Hmm.
If you knock one of them, carry them, it'll register both of you while you're carrying him.
Oh, okay, like scanning a guard for the chest
Yeah,
in season whatchamacallit.
yeah, similar to that. Yeah, yeah, like similar to that in a way, similar to that. And so it's like so there's that. So yeah, it's the battle pass is the same thing as has been the past previous seasons where you can pick and choose your on each page. Um, I'm not upset with it this time around than I was the previous two because I actually like the original characters in this one. And for this season. So, and then plus like there's more to it. So like you start off with Shanta and Ronan. For Ronan in particularly, throughout each page, there's like a different piece of it for his whole outfit that you get throughout the battle pass. So there's an upside to it by going through each page and all that stuff. How else the previous ones didn't feel like that to me. Um, for that one, so I like the battle pass. I do like the battle pass this season so far. The fact that I get to play as Spider Man. Um. Oh, and then what else was there? I'm just having a fun time. In all honesty, like I was just like we didn't win any games, but I had fun still.
We got pretty damn close.
I mean, we got close, but it's just like it's that la- that one that was like just straight up just like was like building for no reason, you know, and stuff. Because like I didn't like.
Yeah, that was pretty sweaty.
I was like, bruh.
He shot like one bullet, and then the dude built like tilted towers.
Yeah, and then like the funny part about it was like I would be dead aim on him, but nothing would register, and I was like, really? Um. So then like at the end of the day, he ended up like getting me. He got lucky, and I was like, oh, I don't care, you know, and stuff. I really didn't care, and all that stuff. But I was like, at the same time though, it's like I still had fun and all that stuff. I feel like if depending on because based off the challenges we have right now, I'm hoping they be like that because the one thing that I've actually enjoyed about the challenges is that it's explore.
I'm hoping they'd be like that too.
Yeah, you get to explore the map and all that stuff. It's encouraging to explore the
They
map
do be like that.
and all that stuff. Like literally because it's like because we're doing the Shanta challenges and all that stuff, and you have to like collect gems to get her pieces. But at the same time, it's like the way they're doing it is like find the gem, find the gem at these landmarks, find the gem at these find the gym with where these characters are at and all that stuff, but it's giving you exploration throughout the map and all that stuff. And I think that's one of the things I like about Fortnite's challenges. Because it wants you to explore the map and all that stuff and
Instead of just getting damage.
Instead of seeing the changes and all that stuff. Like and all that stuff. And that's one of the reasons like that's also one of the reasons why I do still play Fortnite because it's the fact of some of the challenges are based within the story itself, and it lets you learn about these things and all that stuff and everything like that. And especially if there's like a map change in particular in season, it tells there's a challenge of where to go there, and you can learn more about what's going on or figure out these new ways or like or make this like your landing spot if you just want to play for fun.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. And like I said, like where I'm hoping that it be's like that throughout the rest of the season. Because yeah, the map can get repetitive because you're going to the same spots over and over. But it's like as long as these challenges are more somewhat, you can say story based, but also gives you encouragement to go here and here. You may learn some things and all that stuff that may help you out if you're just playing for fun after that, not just grinding for challenges and all that stuff. And because like I did that after you got off, I kept playing and did the challenges and just going through the different areas and all that stuff and all that stuff because that's how we did it to like uncover more spots since like we were trying to uncover the whole map.
We just did the challenges.
We just did those challenges and it would because we learned some things about like there's this spot, some things and especially like because of course there'll be NPCs in certain spots. You can learn about what they have available to buy for gold that you can use for your gold and all that stuff and everything. So it's like it helps you out and all that stuff. Like, and I have a good time with it. That's why I still keep playing it. Unlike with like Warzone and all that stuff, where their challenges are not enticing and all that stuff. Apex, there are more damage slash skill base in a way you can say, and everything. I feel like they should do more story based styles challenges, like go here to do this or something like that, and all that stuff and everything. Where it's like because it lets you explore the map more. Because Apex maps are amazing. I love their maps and all that stuff. Just don't do story stuff when it's based off kicking off a new season, when getting ready to start a new season or something like that.
Why not?
Well, I mean, like do it throughout the whole season. Don't do it at a point at a season where you're anticipating the next season. No way.
Oh, okay.
That's what I mean. Like keep the story going. No way. And all that stuff. Like keep the story going throughout your season. That and all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And they do it at certain points. Like they'll do it like mid season towards the end. That's fine. But it's like I don't want to keep me playing throughout the whole season. Like you have to show me more. Give me more at the beginning and middle and end. And all that stuff. I mean, as much as I love Apex, and I do, because right now I kind of miss playing it right now because I haven't got to play much because of everything else that's been coming out. I just wish there was that. Warzone needs to fix its challenges overall. In all honesty, like I kid you not. So I might as well transition this when we get to our next topic. In 2 hours. So for Warzone in particularly, they had the Secrets of the Pacific, where it was challenges where you can go to certain stuff to learn more about the new map. Tell me why, or on the Warzone side in particular, because you can do it both in Warzone and Vanguard for these challenges. But they're Warzone Vanguards are more multiplayer based, which is like multi kills and all that stuff, which is fine. But for Warzone though, it's like you have to land at a certain place to find this certain item. And then once you pick it up, you have to wait. You have to survive a certain number of rings in order to complete the challenge. So the first item I did, I had to survive 1 ring. And the bad part about that though, it's a 3-minute wait for the gas to kick in and all that stuff. So that way you can survive it. So I'm literally like, which is fine in like if you're like figuring out how to survive in that map because it's a big ass map and everything, and it's dead within the first ring too, unless you run into a fight. But the next one I had to do when I find the item, it wants me to wait. It wants me to survive the next 3 rings. I'm like, so you want me to? So for this, to get this thing, you want me to? You pretty much want to play out throughout the map, throughout the game, really, and all that stuff. Like it's like, why are you making me do this and all that stuff? Like, make it more of like, you go to this spot, go to here to uncover what you need to look for and all that stuff and everything. Don't make it something where it's like, I think for this challenge in particular, that set of challenges in particularly of what that was, I'm all for like challenges where it encourages you to go to last in the game and all that stuff, but make that like a regular challenge. Don't make that something that's supposed to be like, in Call of Duty's instance, story based in a way, because it is supposed to relate to the upcoming map and everything. But don't make it something where it's like you have to technically force me to finish the game off and all that stuff. Just to get a calling card, in all honesty. And all that stuff. Because like you're making me wait most of a match of a game to get a calling card. And all that stuff. And I don't know how I feel about that. And everything. And all that stuff. Other than that, we didn't get to talk about much. We're gonna wrap it up here. Man, anything to say before we go?
Fortnite's cool.
True.
I'm enjoying it.
Little tidbits to talk about before we go. Caldera comes out officially as of when this episode comes out, which is for which is on early access if you own Vanguard. Caldera that's the new Warzone map. That will be available to everyone on Thursday, on the 9th. I'm saying that correctly? Yeah, the 9th of the 9th. If you are a Halo fan, don't forget Halo Infinite's campaign will officially come out on the 9th also. 2. So get ready for that. Early reviews have been out, and so far they've been very positive. So I'm very excited about that when I get to play because I am planning on playing that too. We didn't get to talk about the new Spider-Man trailer, but we'll probably talk about that next week. Since just to get hyped up for Spider-Man No Way Home. But we'll catch you guys next week. This is a long episode this week because we talked about a lot. But get ready for next week.
did.
Get ready for next week and all that stuff, and then we'll catch you guys later. Oh, also, No Name Podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, click on the bell for your notifications so that way you know it helps us out here on the YouTube page and everything, and everything to get for people to catch us more and all that stuff. Okay, so, and also leave a comment, talk about it if you have anything talk about how we talked about today, and we'll catch you guys later. Peace.